Good afternoon and welcome to the OOH-RAH Report. I am your host, Anthony Cavaretta, and today we are taking a look at the Skyline Sports Report. We talk about everything going on in New York City sports. So let's start off with the sports that are concluding here in the Big Apple. First off, we're going to talk about the New York Jets, because that's the easiest thing to do, because it's disappointing and depressing. First, nothing against Jet fans, but your season has come to a close. You lose incredibly well, except for 2 wins. But at the last week of the season, you decided to actually go back to your losing ways and lose to the Patriots again. For the Patriots, this is just an annual ass-whooping for the Jets that they've become used to, and this is without Tom Brady, so that should be fun to remember. So yeah, the Jets lose again, and nothing bad. But on the other team in New York City football, the New York Giants actually had a chance to make the playoffs on Sunday. And to be honest, they got my hopes up again, and they broke them again. The New York Giants defeated the Dallas Cowboys and basically punched their ticket into being the winners of Tank Division. But there was a game Sunday night. The worst game of football I've ever seen in my entire life. As the football team took on the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Eagles won, the Giants would be in the playoffs. But no. They decided to have the worst game of football ever, to the point that people are asking for conspiracy theories about how the Eagles screwed the Giants. And to be honest, I'm disappointed, but also I saw it coming. The Giants are terrible. That entire division was terrible. Whoever won the division is going to get their asses kicked by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. It's going to happen. So I can't wait to see on Sunday night, Wild Card Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the football team. It's the dumbest thing I've seen in a very long time. And it's hilarious. So moving over from football, we actually have some baseball news to talk about, as the Mets made several moves over the course of this week to actually be extremely competitive, so much so that they are the 6th best odds of winning the World Series. And I've seen this show before. I'm not a Mets fan, I'm a Yankees fan, so I've been conditioned to success as a Yankees fan. But I know a lot of Mets fans, and they're very happy right now. And you have all the right to be. But just keep in mind, this is the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks of their own sport. They have tended to let you down before. So go into the season, you can be optimistic. I'm happy that you're optimistic, and you were really good last season. And you should be really good this season. But always keep at the back of your head that it's the Mets. And, they've had bad luck before. And yes, be happy. Be excited. Your baseball team is going to be good. But be cautious. You don't know what can happen. And 2021 is just as weird as 2020. So just be prepared for some weird things to go down for your team. On the other side of New York City, for baseball at least, the Yankees. I have nothing to say here. The Yankees are the Yankees. It's World Series or bust. It's as plain and simple as you can put it. Moving over to another sport that is starting up in a week. It is hockey. The New York Rangers and New York Islanders are going to be playing each other 10 times this year, and it is exciting. Both teams are trying to set up and practice and everything and get themselves set up from training camp and be prepared to play all games. They open up against each other, which is going to be fun. But I do think that the division is going to be really hard to win. The Islanders have several glaring questions, especially one being, why haven't you signed Matt Barzal yet? You should be doing that, but they haven't. The Rangers, on the other hand, is, can the kids finally show up? I think they can, but I do think it will take time. Yes, you got the first overall pick in Alexis Lafreniere, but is he ready for the show? We'll have to wait and see. And the kids just need to show up for them, and for the Islanders, keep doing what you're doing, but it will be very difficult to win now that you have Boston, Buffalo in your division, and all these other teams are getting good and better. And the only team that I think that can necessarily be last place in this division is New Jersey, and even they got better in the offseason. So we will have to see how this goes. It is the group of death in the NHL, and I'm excited for every game in it. And finally, we're going to go to basketball. And I do have to think, if there is one sport that has really been just tampered with in the year 2020 and 2021, it has to be basketball. The Nets are struggling. The Nets have had dealt with some minor injuries and everything, but they're starting to get their stride with their big core finally coming out. And I said before, they look like a powerhouse team, and they can be a powerhouse team. But you know who is playing like a powerhouse team that no one saw coming? The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are above 500, and they have beaten some really good teams. What is happening? Who sold their soul to the devil for this to happen? I'm afraid. I'm more afraid for Knicks fans than I am happy for them. Because at the end of the day, it's the Knicks. Something bad is going to happen. And if they're winning and if they're doing well, God only knows what the devil has in store for you people. I cannot wait to see how that plays out. But I am excited to see that them actually doing well. Because as a longtime New Yorker, the Knicks have always been a punchline for most teams in the joke. Last time I remember even remotely looking at the Knicks was 2012. Yeah, 2012. Almost a decade ago. And right now, this is the most optimistic I've been since then. But I'm cautious. Just like the Mets. Just like the Islanders and Rangers. I'm cautious because I don't really know how this is going to go. But it will be fun to see. So, that is your Skyline Sports Report here on the OOH-RAH Report. I'm Anthony Kevra, and I'll see you all next time.